y square minus 0, this distance should be less than epsilon. So if we take 0 less than x square plus y square less than delta, then 3x square modulus y upon x square plus y square should be less than epsilon. We know that the value of x square is always less than x square plus y square, since y square is greater than or equal to 0. Thus, if we divide x square by x square plus y square, we get the value x square upon x square plus y square is less than 1. Therefore, 3x square into y square upon x square plus y square is less than or equal to 3y, that is equal to 3. The value of modulus y can be put in a square root as y square, and we know that this will be less than or equal to 3 into square root x square plus y square. So finally we get 3x square into modulus y upon x square plus y square is less than or equal to 3 square root x plus y. Just imagine we have taken square root x square plus y square as less than delta, and if we put the value of square root x square plus y square and that value delta, then we get the value 3x square on the slide, 3x square into modulus y upon x square plus y square, taking to the last term, that will be less than 3 into delta, like this, because the value of x square plus y square, this one is less than delta. So taking the value of square root x square plus y square as smaller than delta, we can put this value as here. And now if we take the value of delta as epsilon by 3, we will get 3x square into y upon x square plus y square, that is our function fxy, minus 0. The modulus of this one is less than or equal to 3 square root x square plus y square. The value of square root x square plus y square is delta, so that will be 3 delta. And if we take delta is equal to epsilon by 3, then we will get this value 3 epsilon upon 3. So cancelling this 3, we can get the value 3x square y upon x square plus y square minus 0. This distance is less than this epsilon. So we can say that when the value of square root x square plus y square is less than delta, means if delta is sufficiently small, then the value of x and y, this order pair, approaches to 0 0. At the same time, we are getting the value of this function is less than epsilon. Again, epsilon is a very small value, that means the value of this function is very much near to this 0. So we can say that as xy approaches to 0 0, the value of this function is 0, means this 0 is the limit of that function when xy approaches to 0 0, and we can write this thing as limit 3x square y upon x square plus y square is equal to 0 when xy tends to 0 0. So this is called the limit of a function fxy, and the limit of this function fxy is 0 when xy tends to 0 0. So here if we take any approach, every approach will lead to the value of the function as 0. So recall that evaluating of a limit of a continuous function of a single variable is very easy. It can be accomplished by direct substitution in the same way. So this is because the defining property of a continuous function, that is limit when x tends to a, the value of fx is, substituting the value of x is equal to a, we are getting fa. So in a limit we get limit x tends to a, fx is equal to L. But when we are talking about a continuous function, when function is continuous, we are just substituting the value of x as a. So we get if function f is continuous at point x is equal to a, then limit of a function fx, x tends to a, is fa. Similarly, the continuous function of two variables are also defined by the direct substitution of this property, and we can say that a function f of two variable is called continuous at point AB if limit of a function fxy when xy approaches AB is f of AB by substituting value x is equal to A and y is equal to B. So here we say that f is continuous on D if f is continuous at every point AB in the given domain D. The intuitive meaning of the continuity is if point xy changes by a small amount, then the value of fxy changes by again a very small amount. This means that the surface, that is the graph of a continuous function which has no hole or no break. Using the properties of a limit, we can see the sum, differences, products, quotients of all continuous functions are again continuous on their domains, and let us use this fact to give example of continuous function. A polynomial function of two variable, we call it a polynomial in short, is a sum of terms of the form c into f x raised to some power m y raised to some power n, where c is constant, m and n are non-negative integers. A rational function is the ratio of two polynomials. Here is the example: fxy is equal to x raised to 4 plus 5x cube into y square plus 6x into y raised to 4 minus 7y plus 6. Here we can see this is just the sum and the product of different polynomials, different functions in x and y. The second function is gxy, which is equal to 2xy plus 1 upon x square plus y square. This is a ratio of two polynomial. We call it a rational function. The limits in equation 2, that is in a ratio, show that the functions fxy is equal to some x, gxy is having y, means only variable of y, hxy is a function of a constant value, then they are continuous. Okay. Any polynomial can be built up out of the simple function f, g and h by multiplication and addition. It follows that all polynomials are continuous on R2. Likewise, any rational function is continuous on its domain because it is a quotient of continuous function. Here, evaluating a simple polynomial, that is limit x square into y cube minus x cube y square plus 3x fxy is equal to x square into y cube minus this one. So just substituting the value 1, 2, we are getting the value this one, where the function fxy, where x square minus y square upon x square plus y square, whether it is continuous or not, let us check. So the value of f is discontinuous at 0, 0 because it is not defined there. Since f is a rational function, it is continuous on its domain, which has the set of values d is equal to set of all xy, where xy is not having the value 0, 0. For continuity, if we define the value of xy at that function as 0, 0, then gxy will be x square minus y square upon x square plus y square at all point except 0, 0, and at point 0, 0 say the value of function g is 0. So now g is defined at 0, 0. However, it is still discontinuous there because when limit xy approaches to 0, 0, gxy does not exist. But for function fxy is equal to 3x square y upon x square plus y square, which is defined at every point except 0, 0, and at 0, 0 its value is 0, we are having the same value at every point. Even at 0 the value of this function is 0. That means this function f is continuous at 0, 0, while the earlier function g was not continuous at 0, 0. This figure shows the graph of continuous function, and at 0 0 we can see the continuity of the function. From every path it is having a same value 0. So also the composition of function is again a continuous, and we can have a function hxy as a composition of two function arctan and y upon x. If both the functions are continuous, the composition of two functions are again a continuous. For three variables, similarly we can see the limit when x, y, z approaches to abc, we are having the value of f x, y, z is equal to L. So here L will be the limit of function f when function is having three variables. Similarly, we can have the delta epsilon एक मिनट चलो बताई दो मुझे.
ઓકે પછી અહીંયા અજયભાઈએ હમણાં વ્યાખ્યાન આપ્યું એ ફંક્શન્સ ઓફ સેવરલ વેરિયેબલ વિશે વાત કરી. રિયલ વેલ્યુડ ફંક્શન, ધેર આર સો મેની વેરિયેબલ્સ. ફંક્શન ઇઝ ડિફાઇન્ડ ઓન સો મેની વેરિયેબલ્સ એન્ડ ઇટ ઇઝ રિયલ વેલ્યુડ. બટ ઇફ વી કેન ટેકિંગ એ ફંક્શન ફ્રોમ Rn to Rm, then such types of all things we can say limit concepts is also defined, continuity is also defined, similar way differentiations is also defined. In the sense of differentiability, the differentiation is always a one of the linear transformation from Rn to Rm. If f is a function from Rn to Rm, then its differentiation is always a one of the linear transformation. That is one of the new concept in the sense of the linear algebra. So we can have to generate the concepts of functions of several variable from in the sense of mathematical analysis to linear algebra. That is one of the link to the two subjects. I think good lectures given by Professor Ajay Bhai Gaur.
Shall we have a final slide here?
Yes.
Last slide please. It's a very nice joke on limit. After explaining to students through various lessons and various example as limit x tends to 8, 1 upon x minus 8 is equal to obviously infinitive, I tried to check my students really understood the concept of a limit or not. I gave him a different example like limit x tends to 5, 1 upon x minus 5 is equal to what? Can you guess what was the answer of my students? It is like thank you.